Well, I think it's time to share my story so that, when I offer to help you or give you tips or want you to look into some of the books that I've created or ask you to join a community that I'm creating or some of the cool things that I am focusing on for 2024, you will have a better understanding of why it's so important to me and why I want to help others and the struggles that I've gone through myself in my life. And so maybe you can relate. So for me, I had this goal of by the time I was 26, or sorry, by the time I was 30, that I wanted to be married, have a baby, have a house. I wanted the whole picket fence lifestyle. I wanted it all. I wanted it all. And so I kind of gave it away. But by the time I was 26, I'd actually accomplished all of that. In fact, 5 days after I turned 26, was the day that my son was born. And we had the house and married and all the stuff. And it was great. And I thought I was happy. And then, of course, plot twist. By the time I was 32, all gone. Divorced, lost the house, now shared custody with my ex-husband. So, yeah, all of that gone. Massive identity crisis because when you put all your hopes and dreams into something and then it's ripped away, you kind of don't know who you are, where you're going, what the heck you're supposed to do with yourself now. So that was back in 2002, I think. So quite a while ago, quite a while ago. And so it took me a while to really figure out who I am and what matters to me, what really matters to me, or what I like to call my North Star. And so it took quite a while. So 2015 was when I found myself as a single empty nester. So by this time, my son was 19. He decided to go live with his dad now at this point. And so I was coming up to December 31st, 2015. So it was like, right around this time of year, because that's what I find people tend to do is it's like a time of reflection, right? We use January 1st as this fresh start. And so I was a big fan of that. I loved it. I like making lists. I like making New Year's resolutions. And what I found was that I'm sitting there on December 31st, 2015, realizing that nothing in my life had really been changing. And I guess I had been using a lot of things as an excuse. I had this, this mantra in my head that I always said, well, I'm a struggling single mom. And that became my excuse for why things couldn't change, why I couldn't do a lot of the things that I said I wanted to do. And so it was this massive aha moment for me when I realized that, well, I wasn't struggling anymore. I actually had a pretty good job. And two, I wasn't a single mom anymore because my son was actually living with his dad now. So, this excuse that I had been using for all these years to get me off the hook, and yes, that's what I mean, off the hook for having to actually, try. Like, because this is my excuse. It's like, well, I don't have to try because I'm a struggling single mom, and struggling single moms can't afford that, and struggling single moms can't do this. And that was the new identity that I created for myself after my marriage dissipated, but I didn't realize it. It was completely unconscious. And so, what I'd like to suggest for you all is that you think about, like, who have you decided that you are? What excuse are you using to let yourself off the hook? It's there. We've all got it. We're just not aware of it. So, one of the best things that you can do is just ask the question. So, now I've asked you, but maybe tonight before you go to bed, ask yourself, what excuse am I using to let myself off the hook? Why am I not achieving the things that I want? And you will hear a voice. You just may not have realized it, but it's there. It's always been there. Because I tell you, when I finally heard this voice, it wasn't new. I knew that I had been using this excuse, but totally unconscious of it. I remembered afterwards that, yeah, I'd said this to myself in my head over and over and over again every time I felt jealous that somebody else had something that I didn't have, or anytime I felt like something was too hard and out of my reach, or whatever. And so I had been using this excuse, and I'm going to bet that you probably have one too. You just don't know it yet. So I'm offering you the challenge. Here we are coming up to December 31st again, New Year's, that opportunity to do some of that self exploration. Create some new awarenesses for yourself and figure out, like, what is it that might be holding you back? Because, I mean, yes, it's great to be able to use January 1st as a new fresh start. So why not? It's a gift. Why not let it serve you? And see what comes up for you. So anyways, so this is my new series. Is I'm going to be coming at you for the next 14 days straight with my 14 days of more until 2024. So this is my first one, is just this new awareness. Ask yourself the question, figure out what might be holding you back. And I'm going to continue to share more of my story over the next 14 days and some of the tools and techniques that I've been using over the last few years to help me, as well as, so what ended up happening was I became a coach. So that's kind of where that story goes, is that when I started to work on myself, I realized how amazing and just how much information is out there, and how many tools and ideas and thoughts and ways to break yourself out of patterns that are really out there. And so once I figured that out for myself, started using it in my own life, saw some actual results, started making some changes, all these things that I'd said that I wanted that, I had never been able to do before because I had this stupid excuse going on in my head. Once I let that go, I started to see some massive results. And so therefore, that's when I decided that I wanted to be able to share with other people as well. So I did my coaching certification, I've done my NLP training, and I've been really lucky to have worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients over the last few years, helping them find their North Star, figure out what their version of success is, what's really important to them, helping them tap into motivation to help pull them towards their purpose, even if that purpose is simply, being like the best person that you can be. It doesn't have to be this massive, like, I want to be an actor, or I'm going to be, a rock star, or like, it's not that kind of a purpose. It's simply that thing that for you, just when you're doing it and when you're at your best doing it, you feel the most like you, the most joy, the most bliss, the most at peace. That's what I want people to feel more of in their life, because I figured that out for me, and it is a powerful thing. And it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but once you find it, once you find it, it's an incredible place to be. So so I'm going to come back and I'll be sharing more of my journey to get here today, and some of the tips and tricks that I've been using, and then the things that I've put into some of so this past couple of years, I've become an author, and I've been putting out a lot of books, including this one, which is my focus planner, because I need to have a place to write all my stuff in, to stay focused. So that's one of the things I've done, but I've also created a bunch of guided journals and notebooks and just tools. Like, I like to create things for me. When I feel like there's something that I need in my life, it's like I just go create it now because I can. And so, so the last couple of years, I've been creating tons and tons of really cool stuff that I'm going to be able to help you guys and share on here during the 14 Days of More till 2024 series. So I'll see you again tomorrow.